Let's get salty!
Everyone, Zeddy here again today with a brand new video, and it's time for our day one patch review, which saw, you know, like nerfs kind of and like a buff and like not much else, and an announcement of sadness regarding the twist format. We're gonna go over just everything that seems to be kind of unfolding from just people's reactions. It's not good. And also, Mage looks like it might still be the best deck, or one of the best decks. These nerfs, at least early on, looking very early numbers, it's not looking great. So we're gonna go over what looks to be, not a great patch. And as always, you enjoy the content on the channel. Feel like I've earned your subscription, you know, complaining about Hearthstone lately. But can you blame me? I apologize, but can you blame me? Hit that sub button down below, give the video a like, it helps out a lot as we're on the road to 86,000 subscribers. So yes, this card here, Portalmancer Skyla, the art, terrifying. Is the signature any better? I don't know, but yes, it got nerfed. And as always, whenever there is a balance change, you want to type in refund in the collection down below and disenchant, you know, your surflopods, whatever you got, get your full dust. I just don't want to see this thing anymore at all. It's terrifying. I will note though, be careful with Skyla in particular. If you have a signature like me and you want to disenchant it for whatever reason, it's not giving the full 3,200 value. It's only giving 1,600. If you disenchanted it at the wrong value, you'll probably get made up for it by Blizzard at some point, but just be aware of that. It's just something you might want to avoid in the meantime. But yeah, a lot of people not super happy. You go to the Hearthstone subreddit, a lot of the talk is about twist, don't get me wrong, but I just thought this GIF or whatever, GIF, it's a GIF, summed it up pretty well. People like, oh, I can't wait for this patch, and like, it's nothing, right? It feels like very little. Yeah, we got a nudge to Mage, which doesn't feel like it needed a nudge. That whole deck archetype is super frustrating, not even polarizing. Most people just genuinely hate facing giant water elementals all the time. Yeah, as I tweeted, it's basically what everyone predicted. Oh, we'll slow it down a turn. That's the status quo, and I feel like that's why we're always in the state we're in of toxic play pattern emerges instead of killing it like we used to do, right? Like Hearthstone used to. If there was a giant mana scam or something like that, they would kill it, make sure it would stop happening. Now it's like, we want that in the game, we just want it to slow down, but it doesn't make the play pattern any more fun. It's still the exact same play pattern, it's just maybe a touch slower. But when you have a card like Seashill in particular, you play that on 3, Skyla's still 4 mana. You can still Water Elemental on 4. It's more of a high roll now, but still that doesn't make it feel any better, right? And if we look at the early Aegis replay numbers on front page, which I don't even know if they've updated, it's been less than 24 hours, Mage still near the top, but HS Guru, a site I like to use a lot, made by Donkey, has a meta breakdown early on, low sample sizes in Diamond through Legend, and when you look at that, the second and fourth best deck early on is Big Spell Mage still. It's still way up there. If you go up higher ranks, there's no numbers yet for top 1K, but Legend, there's not a ton, there's not a lot of people playing, but when they are playing, they're playing Big Spell Mage, and it's winning. It's doing really well. So yeah, it's probably worse. The numbers have probably dipped a little, but it's still going to be a presence. It's still going to be very popular because the deck is like absolutely super easy to play. It's one of the easiest decks ever to play because you just play your mana cheat card. You play a Skyla or a King Tide or your weapon that gets coins. Then you cheat out that first big spell, Con Man. And if you're playing the Orb, then play Orb later from your ETC and just replay everything. It's like Big Priest, which was always super popular and always super resented because it was like just so, you know, brain dead to face and also kind of brain dead to play. I mean, if you enjoy playing it, that's fine, that's great. But to me, I've played it, we made a video on it. There's just not a lot of decision making for the most part. And yeah, early on, it's trending towards, yeah, it's looking like it's not that much worse. Like it's still gonna be there. And when you have, you know, we waited for this patch and nothing really changes, people are going to be pretty upset, right? The one buff we got was to Turbulus and Highlander Shaman. I guess it's on there, but playing the deck, it feels still the exact same. Turbulus at 3, I guess, is kind of nice, but it doesn't really do much. And we'll probably break the game later in some other deck at some point, like these buffed cards like to do. And again, I want to make a video about like how I feel like this year, one of the biggest problems of the entire year has been the buffs. If you look at all the decks and the play patterns that emerge over time, it's from prior buffed cards that didn't really have much of a purpose that are now just overtuned and insane in all these decks, and we don't want to address any of that. We've already seen a bunch of things reverted. But the other thing was, yeah, Twist. So stated here, like nearly half a year between Twist seasons is pretty brutal. And I pointed this out on Twitter. Fun fact, with Twist now being confirmed to return in December, right? We now know it's coming back in December. It will be active for only 5 months total during the year. That's less than 50% of the time. And I said, surely the success to any great mode is to make it so you can't play it over 50% of the time. It's a commonly used strategy from the following great games, such as, I just can't think of any. I don't know of another game that promotes a paid mode, right? You have to pay to play cards and all this stuff, right? Like, I guess you can play them in Wild, but do you want to play Wild at Dumpster Fire? Probably not. Twist is supposed to be a nice in-between, but it's never there. That, yeah, it just mind-boggling. And they did promise that it was going to come back for 2 months at the end of the year, which was a lie, which they didn't apologize for. They just lied about it and changed their plans. And I still going to stick to my theory that the game director inherited this. It was made by Igzar and Matt London. He don't like it. He doesn't want it around. He's going to do everything in his power, or whoever's in charge, to make it crap, make it fail, so that they can be like, you know what? We want to scale this back and just focus on standard Wild, which they don't do anyways, Arena, and Battlegrounds, right? That's what's going to happen. I would be shocked by the end of 2025 if Twist remains and they don't give this whole thing of like, you know, it just didn't work out. Yeah, because you have made it not work out. Like, again, I might do a deep dive on this with all the terrible decisions that have been made with the mode in just over a year. It's actually staggering, the amount of mismanagement, opportunities, lies, deception. It's got it all. This mode has it all. The only thing it doesn't have is active seasons to play. So again, that's the gist of the patch, right? We have that one buff that doesn't do a lot, but Shaman's doing great. Again, it's really crazy that they buffed Shaman when they had Evolved Shaman, Rainbow Shaman, Big Shaman, like tons of good decks, and they buffed the one card they buff is for Shaman. Like, weird. Like, it's nice, I guess, but like, also it's a high roll card. It's a card that is one of those cards that if you just draw it, it's really good. If you don't, it's not really a fun card in that regard. And yeah, the balance patch itself, I feel like people are going to be going back to Mage. It's still going to be quite good. The same complaints are going to exist, so they're going to have to nerf either Con Man or the weapon at some point, or Skyla again. It's like, what were we doing with this patch? To me, this is one of the worst patches they put out in a while. Not only for the fact that Twist is postponed or whatever, but the fact that the balance changes they made are so minor that it doesn't really create any excitement or engagement, which is what you want a patch to do, right? You want people to get, you know, a reason to log in and play the game, try out the new meta, but it basically feels the exact same. All these decks are the exact same for, like, Painlock's been busted for what? Over like half a year now, for quite a long time. Why aren't these decks that have been dominant for so long scaled back? Instead, we get buffs that don't do anything until later and break things more. So yeah, we'll have a best decks video going over likely a lot of the same decks as before, but maybe we'll have some new stuff to go in. I'm going to try and get a gameplay video out. Kibler was doing a Therizin Big Shaman and was like top 500 legend. I'm going to try and play some games with it. If we could get together some wins and some fun games, I'll have a gameplay video on that, because I haven't played on gameplay in a while and I'm sick of bitching in every video. I rather, I guess, bitch while I play. And yeah, we'll keep you guys up to date with best decks. And I think we need to do a dive into like what the hell's going on in the game. Something just feels really, really, really off. And it has led to, like, myself playing the least amount of Hearthstone I have played ever, period. Right now, I'm playing the least amount ever. I barely play off stream. It just doesn't feel like Hearthstone lately. And I'm really starting to get concerned that they're not getting the message with changes like this. So anyways, there's some rambling, there's some ranting. I'm frustrated. If you enjoy the video, please like and subscribe, and stay salty, my friends.